Good day, students. Welcome again. This is our second lesson for English JS1, our second lesson for the day. And in this lesson, we'll be looking at letter writing. Okay, many of you are familiar with letter writing. You know what letter writing is all about. You've done a bit of it in your primary school. Now, there are two types of letters. The formal letter and the informal letter. The formal letter is also called the business letter. It is written to people in their official capacity. The formal letter, called the business letter or official letter, is written to people in their official capacity. It's written to people whom you may not be familiar with, who you do not know very well. The second type of letter is the informal letter. The informal letter is written to people you are familiar with, like relations, relatives, family members, friends, cousins, brothers, in-laws, and so on. This is written to people that you are familiar with. So the informal letter is characterized by casualness. It can go on and on, whereas the formal letter is usually short, precise, to the point, and is a very serious letter because it is an official letter. Today we will be looking at the informal letter. We are looking at the informal letter, and the informal letter, like we said, is written to people whom you are already familiar with. There are parts of the informal letters, different parts. So we are going to look at each of them one after the other, and after that you will attempt to write a letter on your own based on what you are told to do. You'll be given a scenario in which you will write a letter based on that effect. Okay, so when you are writing an informal letter, the first thing to write is the writer's address. The writer's address is usually at the top right-hand side of your paper. The writer's address at the top right-hand side of your paper. So you write your address, and the next thing that goes immediately after the writer's address is the date. The date goes immediately after the writer's address, still at the top right-hand side of your letter. At the top right-hand side, immediately after the writer's address, that is your address, you the writer, you put the date. Now, after writing the date, the next thing you write is the salutation. The salutation is dear sister, dear brother, dear uncle, or dear whomever you are writing the letter to. So after the salutation comes the greetings. The greetings, yes, the informal letter has greetings. The greetings is, dear sister, then how are you? How is everybody? How is your school? How is this? How is that? Hope you are doing fine and all that. How is the area you are in? Hope you are keeping safe. All that can constitute the greeting in the informal letter. After the greeting comes the body of the letter. So you write the reasons why you are writing, to that person what you wanted, the information you want to pass across in the letter is in the body of the letter. After the body of the letter, you come to your conclusion. You conclude whatever you are telling the person. After the conclusion, you now put your complimentary clause. Your complimentary clause. And your complimentary clause is yours sincerely, and then the last thing in your letter is your name. Please, in informal letter, you do not write your name and your surname. You do not write your full name, you just put your own name, because you are writing to a relative, a relation, or a friend, or somebody you are familiar with. You do not need to use your full name because the person already knows who you are. So you finish with your own name. These are the parts of an informal letter. So when we look at, let's take it one after the other again. We say you have the address, the date, the salutation, the greetings, the body of the letter, the conclusion, the complimentary clause, and your name. I hope you have gotten all this. Let's take it once more again. We say you have your address, your date, the salutation, the greetings, the body of the letter, conclusion, complimentary clause, which is yours sincerely, and your name. Once you have gotten all these 8 parts in the informal letter, then your informal letter is standard. So, having studied about these parts of the informal letter, I will now want you to write a letter, an informal letter. Write a letter to your friend in another state, informing him or her that you have started online learning because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Explain to him or her how you are enjoying the online learning so far, or the problems, the hitches that you have come across so far, and how it has been resolved, so that he or she will like to join in the online classes too. So write your letter. Please drop it in the forum or message me directly, and then I will get back to you. Have a nice day. Do not forget to stay safe. God bless.